Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. So another Mango Hippie request, and this one's called An Emotional Interview Behind the Scenes of Our Flooded Desert Escape, is what it says. So I had read this on the last one when I was going to play Graham Connors, but apparently I should have read it for this one. So let me read what Mango wrote. He says, the Simpson Desert is a large area of dry, red, sandy plains and over 1,100 parallel sand dunes in the Northern Territory, South Australia, and Queensland in Central Australia. The most iconic sand dune is the 40-meter high Big Red Sand Dune, which is also the most easterly sand dune in the Simpson Desert. It is about 35 kilometers west of Birdsville, and the sealed road ends at its base. It usually takes high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles about 4 days to cross the Simpson Desert if nothing goes wrong. This video highlights how a dry Simpson Desert crossing west to east turned into a flooded crossing with the aim of getting to the sealed road on the other side of the Big Red before it is too late. And this is called the emotional interview of one of those guys that was trying to do that. So, all right, man, let's get into the interview. The intro and right into the interview. Here we go.
It's a little bit wet.
This is the tell-all story of how we got trapped in one of the worst desert floods ever recorded.
We'll push on as far as we can get. Birdsville is only about 100 k's.
There was a point there where I genuinely thought...
We thought we were going to be stranded for a couple of days, even weeks.
4,000 k's, 21 days, 6 vehicles, one story.
But Jesse, I don't think you understand. There's no camping. Like, either we get out today or we call a helicopter in.
I could be stuck out here for a long time, and we all got together. That's the main thing. We worked as a team.
We really need to get out of here and go that way.
This is the Bush Mechanic Challenge Tell All. We have just finished one of the wildest trips we've probably ever done. Crossed the desert, got caught in a flood in some cheap backpacker rigs, and we only just made it out. We're in, of course, the famous Birdsville Hotel. We got out yesterday, and we wanted to take this chance to sit down and talk about what really happened, because there was so much that went on. We crossed the Simpson Desert whilst it was flooding, and we didn't set out with that in mind. What got us through and got us here to the Birdsville pub right now are the blokes sitting on this table, the blokes behind the camera, and thinking outside the box with getting these vehicles across. Obviously, 2 of them aren't here, the mighty backpacker rigs, which we'll get into. But boys, I mean it when I say it, the wildest thing that definitely we've ever done. How about you boys?
Definitely the wildest thing I've ever done. And glad that we made it here, because we were getting a bit worried.
Not what I expected coming out into the desert.
We were out there for a long time. We were running low on food, fuel and water. Vehicles were breaking. We were tired. We were sleeping in wet swags. And we still had to get out.
We thought we were going to be stranded for a couple of days, even weeks. With the water was still coming in, it was rising up.
We started at the iconic Ninda Gully pub with a clear plan.
Early in the trip, spirits were high, we were having fun, it was great. It was very hot, but we were getting through. And the tracks at this stage were dry and dusty, it was hot, it was
scorching
it was
hot.
completely different to what it is now.
But anyway, we get to Mount Dare, and boys, let's just have a chat about how you're feeling at this point, because at this point, it's hot, but the trip's going pretty good.
Yeah, Mount Dare was such a good spot to have a bit of a hiatus, recoup, before you're heading back into the Simo when you know it's going to be hot. Well, we thought it was going to be hot because we checked the weather at Mount Dare, and what do they say? 3 mil of rain?
3 mil of rain, yeah. So all the remote, places out here, they all talk to each other. It's important when you come out here to check the conditions. And at that time, it was 47 degrees, and it said, a couple of mil of rain coming. Even the guys at Mount Dare were like, you beauty, you guys are going to have a sick time. And we were ready for it. Coming into Mount Dare, you started having issues with the Mighty Ranger.
And the Ranger has started to overheat now. I think it's the thermofan, to tell you the truth. That relay got really hot, and then the fan stopped working, and we actually got it in there, filled it up, and then we had to do some repairs on this car. And you know, Jesse was talking to the guy behind the bar, and he said had a Commodore up the back.
Commodore at the back, yeah. We said, you beauty, we knew Commodores had thermofans, let's go for a look. We're having a couple of cooling dramas with the Ranger, and the owners of Mount Dare told us there was this old Commodore out near the airstrip. We've come out here, and luckily enough, it's got a set of thermofans on it, so this could be enough to save the day for the Ranger. We're going to test them, and if they work, we're going to rip them out and see if we can retrofit them on the Ranger's radiator.
I'm hoping it's going to work, but I'll tell you what, we've got one going, and one's better than nothing at the moment.
I reckon now that's out, we might even be able to pull this motor apart and see if it's just sticky brushes or something. That looks like it's made for a Ranger.
And... oh. Oh, yeah! Oh, that feels so much cooler. Put that in swag. That is a good fan.
And of course, while you boys were rigging up the thermofans, there were, what, 2 of the bolts lined up, didn't they? 2 of the bolts lined up? Yeah, almost 2. We'll say 2, yeah. And while they were doing that, I was actually doing a proper fix on the Pajero fuel tank. I was bush welding up a fuel tank. We filled it with bore water.
So Amy, I love her.
Dude, damn, that's
Oh yeah, it didn't even blow up. Beauty. I reckon that looks alright. We've done it right.
Yeah, there might be a hole there, but I guess we'll put some water in the sea.
Yeah. This is the moment. Can you weld or can you...
I reckon there'll be a couple.
You know what? You've done the job, man.
There's a couple of times we jumped back very quickly. We thought we were going to blow ourselves up.
Oh, it just made me realize, at one point I was like, why are we doing this?
And spirits were high. We felt quite achieved that we'd got to Mount Dare.
Yep.
Spoke to them, as you said. There was 1 to 2 of mil of rain sorted. They said, you'd be sweet, told us how many Ks, you get there in this many days, and off we went. We
get to a campsite, beautiful campsite. It rained overnight. We thought, oh, this is actually kind of nice because it's been so hot. Next morning, you had a bit of a shower.
Oh, the rain was delightful because like we said, it was nearly 50 degrees. We knew we had salt pans ahead of us, but there wasn't that much rain, so we just started pressing on.
I do like a little bit of chaos. I didn't think the chaos level was going to get to where it got to.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone did.
I don't think anyone knew that. But no, I really enjoyed that change in the weather. But then I think the reality kicked in.
Yeah, well, we actually had a satellite device that you can get the weather from. And by then we're more than 200 Ks into the Simo. And you look at it and it's like, hang on, it's not 3 mil of rain coming. It's more than 50. Ooh. And that's just on one day. And every day after that, it's going to rain. So that's when it got a little actually nerve-wracking because we're now far enough into it that can you go back or do you go forward? With the salt pans, it got a bit serious.
Oh my God. There's a lot more rain anticipated. And if we don't get through these salt flats today, before this huge deluge tonight, we'll be here all week, man.
Go the pads. Oh no, she's starting to cut out. Oh, it's just cut out. Oh no. Uh-oh. That's not ideal.
I got stuck. I think Tank got stuck once just because the ruts were forming so much. I think the camera car might have even gone down a couple of times, but one of the ones I remember in the afternoon was this whole storm front rolling across the whole salt pan as we were getting off it, and we thought we've got to try to get all these salt pans behind us. And we thought we did until we woke up that next morning that Pete's awning broke, and we realised we had one in front of us, and that's we were at the point of no return then anyway, so the only way was forward really. Don't know if you can see this properly through my foggy windscreen, but out there is a salt lake completely full of water. We're just trying to find a way across these salt pans. We've got 3 cars in the convoy with no snorkels. We've got Jocko, Dave and myself. Going across the water seems to be the hardest route on the bottom. We can't go around and we just get bogged. But if we can't find a route that's shallow enough, it could mean we've got to set up camp here and just wait out this rain. We could be camping in the desert for a week or so.
But Jesse, I don't think you understand. There's no camping. Like either we get out today or tomorrow, or we call a helicopter in.
Why do we need a helicopter?
Because this isn't like, when it stops raining, this gets worse.
They're not going to get a helicopter in.
No, not like this. No, what I'm saying is there's no driving out of this if we don't get out. Like it only gets worse for the next 2 weeks. We don't have enough food and water for 2 weeks.
Look at the water, dude. Look at this water.
Yeah. It's not going to happen, bro.
It was at this point with this salt pan that we still needed to get across that the chaos really started to set in, and we started to realise, we could be here for a while, because we were going from doing, 70 Ks plus in a day to 20 Ks in a day. But this is where also you got a bit stuck.
I did get stuck. So we sent 2 cars through, around the salt pan, and it started to get a little bit sloppy there. And as soon as I sent it in, sort of jumped out of the ruts, and the car just went straight off the side of the track, and it was down to the chassis.
Oh, that went down hard. Look at the angle of it.
And I was like, boys, I'm going to need some help here.
Oh, we had to double line pull you backwards to get you out. And hooking the Prado up to the Ranger as an anchor just to pull you out. It was tough.
Yeah, and that was also the point where I broke my CV, because I had the front blocker on, chucked in reverse, gave it some gas, and broke that front right-hand CV.
That was 4 hours for about 500 metres. And when we were trying to winch you and the vehicle wouldn't get out of the mud, I was concerned that we weren't going to get it out at one stage,
It was very disheartening because we'd done 4 kilometres that day. So we finished brekkie, packed everything up, did 4K, and then that happened. And it's like, and then by then it's after lunchtime, and it's like, this is going to be a slog.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway through this MO.
And that's where I realised we're going to be in a bit of trouble trying to get out of this place.
It's important not to understate that. We are in the middle of the Simpson Desert. We couldn't go back with all those salt pans. We pretty much only had to keep going forward. And what we saw in front of us after we crested a few dunes, and we had a long way. There was hundreds of Ks to go at this point.
This is by far the longest distance crossing we're about to do in the water. It honestly looks like I'm driving in the ocean.
Every time we went over, the crossings were getting longer and longer. And when you were tailing a car, you didn't know what was in front. You just thought, this is going really, really far. One, I remember, we're cruising along, probably about a couple of metres off the back of the Cameron boys, and they went down. Can you give us a push? Yep, sweet. And I always judged how deep it was by their tray. Like the bottom of where their tail lights were, I could tell it was just over the bottom when it was like that. And then all of a sudden, when they slowed down, their tray went underwater. And when that happens, the Pajero airbox is underwater. And they stopped, I stopped, my car stalled. I think their car even stalled at the time. They started up a bit of backwards forwards. I had to climb out the window and get straps out, and that was the end of it for the Pajero.
That's it. That's it, conking out.
At that point in time, we almost dropped the cameras. We still wanted to get the straight on. We dropped them, and our most important thing was actually getting out. It was actually getting pretty heavy.
There was a lot of chaos at that point, but I think what was good is we kind of had to stop, have a bit of a reset, and everyone sort of just took 5-10 minutes, chilled out, have a bit of discussion on what we're going to do. Because we're like, we've got to keep going now. We need to reset. We've got to fix the cars. It's raining. People are hungry, tired, and I think that sort of just came together.
Yeah.
And everyone just had a little bit of a reset there, which was great. At Luke, our producer, was like, just, boys, calm down and stop and think about it.
Even just doing a few jobs and getting in some dry clothes, because we've been in wet clothes for 14, 15 hours at this point in time.
Everyone in camp's got a job at the moment. It's flat out. It's full on. It's an adventure.
We changed the method around. Jock was behind the camera car. I was behind Tank on a strap. We were making good progress. We probably did 4 or 5 crossings that morning. We had a system in place. It was working well. And then it stopped working well, didn't it?
Yeah, it stopped working well mainly because of me.
It was a big crossing.
We came to a big crossing. This one, however, started shallow, got real deep. Luke was in there, he was getting a bit bogged, and I, at this point, was driving up to him thinking, it's a bit deep, I better catch him so I can sit behind him. Then he slowed down, and I started floating at this point, and I thought, this is not good. So I banged the Prado into reverse and was starting to come out, and it slipped a little bit as I was coming out.
Look how deep that is.
I thought,
yeah, it's just super deep, man. It's coming over my bottom.
All right, y'all. So I've got to pause this, and so yeah, this is going to be a 2-parter as well. So yeah, I don't know that it's emotional, but it's pretty intense. this interview, these guys talking about, of course, it could get emotional later on down, part 2. And this will be 2 parts. But on the other hand, man, these guys are experiencing things together that they'll never forget. It'll make them closer as friends for sure. Unless one of them turns into an asshole and he's only out for himself, then it'll also make enemies for a lifetime if that goes on too. So it's pretty interesting, man. I'm excited to see the second part of this. I got to get up. I got to move these old bones, and I'll come back and I'll do the second part. So Mango's thrown these long ones at me, and I'm scared how long the next one is going to be. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, that's going to do it for me. Till I see y'all again, I'll catch you down the road. Part 2 is coming right after this one. Let's see. It'll be also on the same day. So in a couple of hours, I'll have part 2 of this will be up for you guys to watch. So it'll allow you to go get you a bite to eat and then come back and watch the second part of this. All right, man. So, yeah, like I said, I'll catch you all down the road if I don't see you again, man. Let's go to the outro. Bye, y'all.